Now, in Brazil, former President Lula da Silva has announced he will run in the presidential race this year, despite a court decision upholding his conviction for corruption and money laundering. The court also extended his prison sentence to 12 years in the ruling on Wednesday. For now, Lula remains free as he still has the right to appeal to a higher court. He has until August to register his candidacy, though electoral authorities may block it. Let's speak to Paulo Roberto Franca, the Brazilian Consul General to Turkey, who joins me now live from Istanbul. Good to have you with us. So Lula has said that he's still going to contest the presidency, that he hasn't committed any crime. Do you think that's going to happen? What are the chances of Lula running in the presidential race?
Thank you very much for receiving me in your program. Let me tell you that I think that, first of all, what is important to say is that yesterday Brazil showed a robust democracy, a robust process of rule of law. There was the condemnation at the first instance, and yesterday there was the second instance that confirmed the condemnation and have even extended the penalty. Now, of course, Mr. Lula, the ex-president, whom I respect very much, but he has to follow with his lawyers what the justice provides in terms of possibilities for his case. Nevertheless, he has already been convicted at the appeal court, and this makes his case a little bit more difficult.
And you've said there, of course, that the courts were upholding the rule of law. That is not, of course, what his supporters and members of his Workers' Party say. They say this is an attack on democracy. So are you expecting there to be more protests in Brazil over this?
I hope not. I hope that people begin to respect our institutions as it should be. I think that the judiciary is working independently. It has shown strength. It has shown that we have, as a country, to fight corruption. As you know, money that goes towards corruption is the money that should go to hospitals, to schools, to roads, to infrastructure. So I hope that everybody in Brazil begin to understand that we have to respect the different powers and the independency of the judiciary in its proceedings.
And of course, the whole political scene in Brazil has been rife with all these scandals, accusations of corruption, bribery. Even the current president, Michel Temer, has faced such accusations. You know, how deeply divided is Brazilian society right now?
I think that Brazilian society has a sense of betrayal on the part of those that took power in 2002, because there was a great hope that, of course, the country would develop and would go forward, and that was the expectation. Since then, unfortunately, after a few years of good vibes and good development, we begin to hear of all the scandals of corruption. And this has produced a very negative feeling in Brazilians in general. What has happened since then is the fact that the country has got grips with fighting and combating corruption. There has been, as you know, a number of different politicians from different parties that have been prosecuted. Some of them are in jail, and it's not something which is aimed only at one party. And as you know as well, there are a number of important entrepreneurs that have been put to jail because of this. I think that it's a process. It's, of course, open to perfection and betterment, improvement, but I think we are in the good path.
Good to speak with you. Thank you very much indeed for your thoughts there. Paulo Roberto Franca, the Brazilian Consul General.
Thank you very much for this opportunity.